like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
All right, everybody, welcome into Real Talk with Spoon and Pudding.
71.
So this is 71. It's more than that, but we're going with 71.
Oh, well.
The primary purpose of this podcast is educate and share thoughts and opinions. When we have proof and evidence on the topic, it will be brought forth. This podcast does not constitute advice or services to anyone. Spoon and Pudding do not accept any responsibility or liability for anyone, our guests, or anyone's comments or actions based on the material we talk about on our podcast. This podcast is for private, non-commercial use, and everyone should ascertain that the information we provide is correct and verified at all times. There shall be no adding to, editing, or reproduction of this podcast without prior written permission from Spoon and Pudding. You can reach us at realtalkwithspoonandpudding@gmail.com. What up?
Oh, man. I was waiting for you. I was watching this little 10-minute video that James Reeves does from the Firearms blog on YouTube. And it was interesting. He does this little study. I'll show you here's what there we go. He was doing a thing. It said, "Will it hurt me in court?" It was real interesting. It was AR-15 versus Mini 14. The guns are the same. They basically, they shoot the same bullet. They can have the same capacity. One just looks like a hunting rifle and one looks more like a military.
Right.
And it was crazy how much the percentage goes up if you used an AR-15 for self-defense. He said, but it was an interesting study, but he's talking about men versus women jurors. Women are much crueler to send people off to jail for a lot longer for doing nothing wrong. Just the scenario was, you wake up, you heard something in your house. You wake up, you walk in the living room with your gun in your hand, and there's a burglar and he's got some of your stuff. And all of a sudden he's like 15 feet away from you, and you tell him, stop, freeze and don't move, and you got your gun on him, of course. And then he says, I'm going to kill you. And he starts charging you, and you blast him twice and he dies. You didn't do nothing wrong, but if you end up convicted, women are sending you to jail much more if you had a AR-15 instead of a Mini 14. It's like, oh my God. It's crazy study. Just an interesting little thing.
For basically the same gun?
Same gun. No, they shoot the same bullet, have the same similar barrel lengths. You could put a 20-round mag in a Mini 14. They've even got 30-rounders you can stick in them. So, you could have a 30-round Mini 14 and a 30-round AR, and they basically function identical, except for one's piston and one's direct impingement.
Right.
But he released it 50 minutes ago, and that's why I was sitting there waiting on you. I said, "Oh, what's that?" Because if you shoot a burger, how long will you be in jail? I don't think. I think you in jail. No, you get a medal.
Yeah, you break into my house. You don't value your life too much, do you?
No. So but the study, he did a video on this last week where he was talking about revolver, semi-automatic pistol, shotgun, AR, and then Mini 14. And the one that stuck with him last week when he did a video on it was Mini 14 versus AR-15. I was like, that's pretty interesting. He said it gives more credence to just use a Mini 14. Go ahead and be a FUD,
But if somebody breaks in your house, what do you really want? I'd rather have the pump.
I'd rather have a shotgun. Oh no, I'd rather have I got a pretty decent little semi-automatic and shotgun in there. It's got, very fast double aught buck in it. So
yeah. It's gonna do a lot more damage.
Yeah, well, there's something about weight and speed, but I don't care. I mean, having gun is gun. Have gun, beat no gun. But anyway, so what did you want to talk about? I was just telling you, when you asked me, I said, I was watching this. It was pretty interesting.
There's so many things going on. I don't know which one you want to talk about first.
Pick one.
Well, I feel like we've hit on that Maui and shit quite a bit, but there's more and more and more keeps coming out about that. It's going to be kind of like be the Epstein client list. You ain't never going to know the truth.
Oh, it's kind of like, well, I wrote in the comment or the descriptions that we should laugh. We should just joke, just pick on everything. Because there's the thought that they have a secret weapon that they're testing on us. You know, I mean, I don't. The more you see it, the more it seems like that's what that was. Oh, then you say, well, they wouldn't do that. And then you start thinking 9/11. Well, what did they do there?
Yeah,
they still haven't. You know.
Yeah, never in the history of time has the government killed people, right?
No, they would never do that. They wouldn't use us like little they don't want to use us like lab rats, but there we go with our tinfoil hats, you know. Need to get a tinfoil hat.
Do they not remember back in Prohibition when the government poisoned so much alcohol and killed so many people? They don't remember that.
No, they don't remember Wounded Knee either. People have Did I send you that long one where he was talking about the U.S. government and money and how? I think I did. I don't know if you watched him. The one with the fiscal cliff.
Hell, I don't remember.
Yeah. I sent you the anonymous one where they were talking about the Maui, and then the fiscal cliff was Heresy Financial talking about how many central banks we've had, how the founders didn't want all this money printing. Jefferson versus Hamilton, which you've seen that if anybody's watched the John Adams series, you see how Hamilton wanted a big central government issuing currency and debt to the states to make the states indebted to the federal government. And Jefferson wanted the states and everybody to run a more fiscal responsible book. Thomas Jefferson also said, if you pass a bill that's going to cost money, the taxes should be immediate. You shouldn't be able to pass a bill that's going to cost $1 trillion like Obamacare, and then people don't see the effects until, years down the road when they start seeing what the hell, I'm paying double what I was insurance 6 years ago. Well, that's the effect. You shouldn't wait 6 years to see it. If you've seen it instantaneous, you might be able to retract it if the effects were made instant. But that was Thomas Jefferson. Which, again, another fiscal responsible person. We don't have that in our government anymore.
I've been watching a lot of these, and I can't remember the channel.
What is it?
The Democrat groomers. They call them Democrat groomers. It's where they catch these pedophiles. It's not the police. It's private investigators. I say private. It's guys like me and you. Independent journalists, and they do investigations.
Mm-hmm.
But they got every text message, email, everything with these. And when they set up the time to meet, like these 13, 14, 12-year-old kids, the adult, they show up there. You ever seen those?
I seen some. Did you send me one of them?
Probably.
Yeah, I watched one. Some guy was taking him back to his house where he was trying to. Yeah, you tried to send me one, but I didn't see it. That one won't play. The one you sent me again. I think you sent me one a while back, that did play. So that's what you've been watching?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of those because there's, along with the child trafficking, I can't get off of that. It's so many of our kids come up missing. They had 85,000 that they can't account for. Then you have all this in Hawaii going on, and so many kids are missing over there. And then you got these child sex traffickers that I don't understand how they, can't eliminate it. Well, yeah, because they don't want to. They're part of it, but it's just sickening and disheartening. And so I've been studying up, researching on that, trying to, they can limit us what we can look at and what we can see and all that, but they can't eliminate the child sex trafficking and the child porn and all that on the internet. Of course they could. They don't want to.
Well, we're not. I mean, you hear the rumors, and then everybody's trying to sit there and say, "Well, this Pizzagate thing and all that," and then somebody says you're sitting there talking about it, and you're saying this can't be true, and then all of a sudden you see the text messages where somebody's ordering a $60,000 pizza. What's a 60? What? It made no sense, and I said, "Well, I haven't seen those messages yet. I mean, maybe I should do some research on that." But
yeah, what is that $60,000 pizza?
I mean, let me see what I can find. You go ahead.
That's a young underage boy. Young.
Well, they had Well, yeah, they had like supposedly the pizza code or whatever, where if you wanted a boy or a girl, just like Sound of Freedom.
Well, while you're looking at something, let's take a moment and be quiet so we'll see if we can hear.
Hear what?
Yeah, I can still hear. You can hear that?
Which one?
Instead of this morning, the Alabama fans saying "Roll Tide, Roll," you hear still him crying from that butt whooping they took last night in Texas.
Who?
Alabama.
Well, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't watch football.
I know. I just wanted to poke at him.
Poke at who?
Alabama.
Oh, wow, because they lost?
Yeah, the bandwagon fans.
Who'd they lose to? I don't know.
Texas Longhorns.
Oh.
Hook 'em horns. Hook 'em horns.
And then I heard you and Red last night talking about, what was it? Did Miami beat
A&M? Yeah, they beat them pretty good.
Oh. I don't know. How'd your Volunteers do for the local?
Played like crap. They won.
Oh, they're back to. They won, but they were back to normal.
Yeah.
They accidentally. It's like luck. Whoops, we won. Whoops.
They played a far lesser team that they should have beat by, 50 plus points and only won by a couple touchdowns. So.
I wonder. I heard something the other night where somebody was talking about them text messages. Text message.
You talk about with the pizzas and all that. Yeah, that's part of it. That all goes hand in hand with them setting up what they want from their child trafficking dealers.
Epstein did not act alone. Sure, he didn't. They're mad at the Virgin Islands for trying to get into Chase Records, like Chase Bank.
Yeah.
Now there was a whole bunch of different, like a lot was going on.
Oh, the one thing I wanted to talk about,
What was that?
I just popped into my head. I remember was, they're coming out with this new variant of the
no,
flu.
don't say it. Don't say it.
The flu.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting close to election time in November.
It's funny. Picture of Hillary eating a pizza.
It's getting close to election time, November. So, gas prices, raising gas prices, all this and that. But if everybody has any questions, go back and do a little research with the Amish. The Amish doesn't have any vaccines.
Yeah, that was a very interesting video you sent where the government's done lots of studies on them, but they won't talk about it because they don't have autism. Somebody that, talking about getting vaccines, you can refuse to have your kids vaccinated. It's not illegal to do. There's a lot of states have waivers, and only the upper echelons of people who get in there know about this. But if vaccines work, then you should if your kid's vaccinated and there's a kid in school who isn't and vaccines work, why are you worried about the kid coming to school with the disease? Your kid's vaccinated. He's safe, right?
You shouldn't work. You should.
It defies logic. If your belief in vaccines working against chickenpox or measles or whatever, and some parent decided that they didn't want their kid vaccinated, and he comes to school with the measles, why are you worried? Your kid's vaccinated. It works. Your faith in it should be enough, right?
Well,
I mean,
it goes back to this.
People want to impose their faith and will on others.
Yep.
And we could stick this into religion. I mean, the quote, I love Jefferson's quote where he said, I care not if my neighbor says there's 20 gods or none, as long as he don't pick my pocket or infringe on my liberty. And that was a Thomas Jefferson quote. He was a deist. He was he couldn't stand the Quakers. He hated them because he knew they wanted control of the government to push their narrative. Now we've got a narrative of religious science that we believe it 100%. And you have faith in it, and you took your kids down and you pumped them full of vaccines that supposedly keep them protected from the measles. So what if a kid shows up with the measles? If he shows up with the measles and your kid ends up getting the measles, you had a false religion. That's all there is to it.
See, I'm not one that's anti-vax. I think some of the vaccines that we take are good for us.
I'm not saying that you have to be anti-vax. I'm just saying it should be personal choice.
Exactly. But I don't think all of them that we take are necessary. I don't think all of them work. And I know these ones they're testing on, the Chinese flu over the past few years are hit and miss because they didn't have enough trials, enough studies. And so the point I'm making is you go do research on the Amish. They don't do any vaccines. They didn't do the COVID vaccine. They didn't do none of them. They have no ADHD. They have no autism. They have none of the problems that the regular population has. And if you look at all that, aside from what the people with their conspiracy theories on the day-to-day of this stuff, it gives you a different light into it, because me and we got people we know that's had every COVID shot and every booster, and they've come down with it 3-4 times. Right.
So you followed a false religion. You followed a false science. It's not a real science. They've changed the definition of herd immunity. Look it up. I was sitting there when they did it, and I said, and that was like a discussion that I had about why are you getting your kid full of all these vaccines? It's not good for them. Oh, well, you have to get them to school. No, you don't. You can get a waiver. You can figure out a way around that. Besides, and just given simple logic, but these people today just believe in this false narrative of science. I remember, I think it was Alex Jones or somebody it was years back, but there was somebody, it might have been on his broadcast show, but they were going through the polio. They were talking about polio. When polio was a scare back in the 1950s, and all of a sudden there was a vaccine, a miracle vaccine that come out. Basically, what they said, now I haven't really got the papers. Maybe I need to. Maybe that should be this week, where I go look up the papers. But what they said so this is just what I heard, not what I've researched. So don't quote me on this, but they changed the definition. The people who were getting the permanent life deficient polio with the limps and all that stuff, and they changed the definition is what was being proposed, that they didn't cure polio. They just redefined it, that whatever vaccine they gave people, because there was two things that looked similar to polio. And remember, 1950s, I mean, doctors weren't, the science technology wasn't as good as it was today. Not near as close. Basically what they said is some people had something that mimicked polio that would go away in 2 weeks, and other people had something that was what scared everybody polio, that, oh man, I'm gonna be crippled for life or something. And basically what they did was, when they separated out the two, they would vaccinate people, and the people who got better, they called them, well, look, the vaccine cured them. And then the people that were, they just named it a new disease or something. They recategorized it, which is what they did with herd immunity. They just did that. Herd immunity is we got to vaccinate it. No, herd immunity is everyone gets the disease and then it's gone. It could come back next year like the flu as a mutated disease. Okay, well, that's what it's doing now. It's coming back around. Okay, get ready for your yearly COVID variant.
What do you think? What do you think the common cold does every year? What do you think the flu does every year?
No, we don't have those no more. Now we got COVID scare. Well, we got a 4-year COVID scare, I guess, or 2 years, every 2 years. Quiets down after the election and comes back to the next election cycle. I can't believe people are this dumb, though. Honestly, they fall for it. Oh boy! But anyway, other than that, I don't have a whole lot. Did you watch the meeting or no? You ain't caught it yet.
No.
Well, you're slacking on that local stuff, Mr. Local Man.
Well, I'm thinking there's one again tomorrow, and I'll watch both of them.
Oh, okay.
Then we can talk about 2 meetings.
Oh, you wanted to talk about you're holding off the locals with the meeting stuff. You're like, I'm gonna hold you off. I gotta wait. But I didn't have a whole lot to talk about. We should just laugh. I don't really, at this point in this stage in the game, it just seems like, just laugh at it all. Who cares? Why should anybody care?
Well, I mean, everybody should care, and we should band together to do something. But it seems like the brainwashed sheep or the stupid outnumber us.
There are. I mean, there's some people that are trying that got big platforms, but they've got to be careful. We got a small platform. What's going to happen if YouTube deletes us? Wow. I mean, I don't care. I mean, we've already got proof. I've got proof lined up out the wazoo in my phone where we asked a question. We shown Google poll results, asked for a response, talked about it, got banned, got a strike, got all kinds of shit. I challenged it. All them emails are still there, Google. But you won't answer the question why you shown something and then something that shouldn't have happened. Hours later, something that shouldn't happen happened. You reported something higher, and then hours later it was lower. You think most people weren't watching that. Most people were like, oh, they're in the camp and they're religious right and they're religious left. It's like their belief in vaccines. Like, I just had a baby pumping full of 120 different potent chemicals that we think can save them.
I talked to Dale about this the other night, and I asked him if he thought Trump was going to get the nomination, which Trump's probably going to get the nomination again. I mean,
I'm sure.
I mean, who's going to beat him on that side?
We'll see if Vivek and RFK are really the people we hope they are. All I can say as a libertarian, I hope that the Libertarian Party would try to pull one of those two or both. I mean, could you imagine a Libertarian Vivek RFK on that Libertarian ticket?
Or opposite, RFK Vivek?
It don't matter. I don't give a shit. Well, I don't give a shit which one of them's in front. I'm going to punch the Libertarians. I always am.
The thing
so I don't really give a damn.
The thing that scares me about Vivek is he's a big pharma guy.
Well, that would be funny. The pharma and the anti-pharma. It would be a funny ticket because RFK is so anti-vaccine.
See, I always wanted the Trump or Schwarzenegger.
Oh, God.
Against each other.
Oh, my God. It's got to be the game about ever. Get to the chopper.
Then you throw Jesse Ventura in there. You got Jesse Ventura, Schwarzenegger, and Trump. All three up there on the debate stage. Would that not
I don't
be?
know.
Would that not be a good one?
I don't understand politics. I really don't. I don't understand the libertarians at all. They've got a slot on the ballot in all 50 states. And then we get Joe Jorgensen. I mean, honestly,
But
I don't.
The problem with the libertarians is there's so many different ones. You know that the Libertarian Party is not all united. At least you can say with the Democrats and Republicans, even if they don't agree with each other, they stay united for the gooder cause, or the better cause, or the greater cause, or whatever you want to say. Libertarians don't do that. The Libertarians in Tennessee aren't the same as the Libertarians in Kentucky, or in Washington State, or in Oregon. You know,
No, Florida, California.
I've seen that they have different views. And they fight.
Well, we need to get it. We need to get involved. Me and you, we need to go get involved with them. And it's just in Lebanon, I think, is where they have their convention.
Well, here's the problem I have with that. I've talked to them,
What?
and I don't want to put myself affiliated with any political party.
It's not affiliated. It's going in there and talking common
No.
sense, because that's what we lack in this world anymore is common sense.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is, when you get involved with that, or like when I was, they want you to donate to their cause, and then
Donating my time, asshole.
No, they want you to donate money, and then they want you to register. Look, I don't want to register as a Republican or a Democrat or Libertarian, right? I don't belong to any of you. I'm my own person. I can think for myself. Do I lean more towards Libertarian? Of course.
I believe I did register as a Libertarian, honestly. When I
That's
went down,
fine.
they said, "What party are you?" I said, "Libertarian." And I don't care if that means that my what is it, the primary, I don't care if my primary ballot's empty. I really don't. I don't, because the Libertarians are the ones that pick the candidates. I mean, but they sure ain't doing they sure aren't thinking. They aren't out there. I mean, you've got a party that's been set up that's somehow able to still get enough votes to have a person, and it's united across the country. But Gary Johnson wasn't the greatest. I'm not going to say he was the greatest. Joe Jorgensen definitely wasn't a step in the correct direction, but still, you have the possibility.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter, because when you go to the primaries, you can only pick Republican
People in your own
Democrat.
damn party.
So
Yeah, I know. But I don't know, man. I just wanted to do a quick one today. You need to get caught up on your local stuff. We'll just leave the locals next week. So, but
yeah, well,
I guess I'm gonna get ready and just do a quick one. I didn't want to do a long one today.
going swimming.
Maybe, I don't know.
Going
think about
swimming,
it.
sweetie.
But no, I guess I'll holler at y'all or see y'all on the next week. You got anything else or no?
Well, Dave says people are all for themselves nowadays, and they're scared things will get taken away that they can't live without. Yeah, like their iPhones and their Nikes. And I wish people would just research how all the batteries are made, from iPhones and these electric cars. And
That was an interesting. Patrick bet David had something on the iPhone that currently like 96% of the iPhone is made inside of China. And he's like, that means you are 90% dependent on China. You're a $3 trillion company who's 90% dependent on China. He said, who owns who? But we'll just hold that for next week, man. I guess we'll call it for today. I don't just laugh, people. Find some comedy. Not all you can do, right?